Well, hello everyone! We are back for destash. Well, not technically a destash video, but let's just say a going through my collection video. So if you have watched my most recent destash video, I had asked at the end of the video if anyone was interested in seeing my SquareHue collection. Now, I have no intention whatsoever of destashing any of my SquareHue polishes, but if you look on my, if you look here in my bookcase, you will notice that I do have SquareHue starts right about here and ends right about there. I need to move these polishes anyways. I am not destashing any of my SquareHue polishes, but I am gonna take them all out of there and I'm gonna put them on the table and we're gonna talk about formula and some of my favorites and all the past collections that I have, because I have quite a few. So this is not all of my SquareHue. You'll see that there's only like, I don't know, 4 cubbies full of polish. There's actually a whole lot right here on the table. This is all of the polish that I have from SquareHue. I think I have probably the same amounts of polish from on my table, and in my bookcase here, I'm pretty sure it's like the same amount of polishes. So let's pull out all these polishes. I'm still not quite sure if I want to put all of my SquareHue back in this bookcase or if I want to make a second kind of storage unit and put it off on this wall over here, like do kind of like those shelves that Phoebe has on her channel. But have it just for SquareHue, because my SquareHue collection is only going to get bigger and I really don't want it to eat up too much space in my nail polish bookcase, because I'm keeping my SquareHue for like references and for like comparisons for future SquareHue, and I don't necessarily want to have this entire bookcase be eaten up by SquareHue, because it's more like a reference section and less of polishes that I actually enjoy. But we will get to some of that in a minute. When I get all these polishes on the table, you will learn very quickly that there are some polishes from SquareHue that I really don't enjoy, but I don't really want to get rid of them. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just talk about the polishes first and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna pull all of the rest of these SquareHue bottles, put them on the table, and we can start talking about polishes and colors and formulas and everything SquareHue. Behold my hoard of SquareHue. But before we get too far along into this collection video, I'm not gonna call it a destash because I'm not gonna run out of any of these babies. Let's talk about what's on my nails, because I get lots of questions about it, so let's just discuss it, get it out of the way. I am wearing one of my favorite neon colors. This is Have Courage from Orally Color Blast, although it is the exact same color as Tutti Frutti from Orally as well. It's just one of my all-time favorite like orange neons. I just adore this color so much, and my son and I have been hitting the pool quite a bit over the last couple of days, so mama's got herself a little bit of a tan, and I love wearing neons because they just bring out the golden tanniness of my skin, and this color is no exception. So rocking this real hard lately. Let's talk about these polishes. So I'm going to be an overachiever, and honestly this is gonna help me more than it is just like being an overachiever, but I'm actually gonna try and find all of the swatch sticks that go along with these colors as well, and mainly that's just for my own personal organization. I really want to try to get super, not serious, but I just want to keep SquareHue as organized as possible. I have tons and tons of swatch sticks of all of my colors, and honestly that's going to be the next project in my destash, is then going through all of my swatch sticks and then getting rid of all of the swatch sticks that are polishes that I destashed. So I thought I would at least conquer that with SquareHue, because I know I'm going to keep all of SquareHue, and I actually want to keep all of my SquareHue swatch sticks separate from the rest of my collection, because like I said before, I want my SquareHue collection to be purely for reference. Most of these polishes are no longer available, unfortunately, from SquareHue. Some of the collections from this year are still available, and also I believe some of last year's might still be available as well. I will leave my affiliate link with SquareHue down below, along with a discount code that you can use on their website that will give you 10% off of your entire order, which also includes the subscription box as well. So in case you see anything that you like and it might be available on their website, you could pick it up, no problem. problem. Here we go. All right, so this first SquareHue polish that we have here, this is called Jungfrau, and this is from April of 2016. Now 2016 was the Adventure Collection, and the April box was Skydive Interlaken, and it's this really gorgeous purple crelly with beautiful matte glitters in there. I was able to find the swatch stick really easy. This is why I picked this one out first, because it's super easy to find. I really liked the formula on this one. You got pretty good opaque coverage in about 2 coats, and I really wish they did more of these because this was such a beautiful polish and such a surprise in the April box from 2016. Next we have Allegro from the Ballet Collection. This is from the 2017 collection, which is the dance collection. Each month is a different dance style, and they picked out colors that kind of go along with that dance style. Obviously with ballet, we are going to be dealing with beautiful, beautiful pastel colors, and the formula on this one was really, really nice. I just reviewed this collection not that long ago. Really, really gorgeous sky blue cream that just is breathtaking. It's a little bit on the dusty side, which I really like. I really do like that they put the date on there, and they didn't do that for this year's box, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do it for them. This ballet box was in May, so this is good for me too, because now I can finally go through and label some of the polishes that don't have dates on there. Because I will be keeping all of these, and so I'd really want to keep all of them together. This next one is Idol from November of 2015. 2015 was the Decades collection, where each month was a different decade. November we were dealing with the 2000s, and so obviously this is in reference to American Idol, which started in 2002, and this particular polish is just your average like silver glitter polish. It's kind of a classic staple glitter. This glitter was actually quite nice from SquareHue. It's not too base heavy. There's a nice equal distribution of glitter and clear base, which I really, really like. You can use it as a topper. You can also build it up and have full glitter coverage. Really, really nice polish from SquareHue. Next up, we have Fireworks from July of 2016. 2016 was the Adventure Collection, and July's box was Celebrate America. It was a fantastic 4th of July box with this gorgeous red jelly holographic polish. So incredibly beautiful. The way this one swatched and worked on the nails was so lovely. Beautiful red jelly base with tons of holographic glitter that really just make it sparkle and shine. One of my favorite red polishes from SquareHue. They rarely put holographic glitter in things, and so I really, really liked this particular polish. It was super, super cute. Here we have Frosty from December of 2016. The December box was Ice Skate Rockefeller Center, and this polish was kind of a letdown for me. I'm not a huge fan of frosty toppers or just frosted polishes in general. If I were destashing polishes, I would definitely be passing this one along, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be keeping all of my SquareHue polishes, but I'm not a huge fan of this one. The next SquareHue polish we have is Duval Street from May of 2016. May's box was Scooter Key West, and this particular polish is a really gorgeous kind of mint pea green pastel. Fantastic cream formula from SquareHue. Really, really liked it. Such a cute color, perfect for spring, adore it. Here we have another polish from the 2016 December collection, which was Ice Skating Rockefeller Center. This one's called Rudolph. It's a really beautiful, very like antique red with a shimmer running through it. Really, really vampy. So perfect for Christmas time. I really have a soft spot for shimmery reds around Christmas, and this one is no exception. Kind of a nice formula on this one. Definitely opaque in 2 coats. It looks phenomenal with a matte topper on it. It looks like velvet. Here we have another polish from this year. This is from the Samba collection, which was February of 2017. So for my purposes, I'm going to start labeling this year's polishes because they haven't dated these labels for this year, which I'm kind of miffed about because they've put dates on the rest of their polishes from their collection, except for this year. So I went ahead and wrote down the date from when this one came out, and it's a gorgeous shimmery green, just an emerald green that just takes your socks off. It's absolutely fantastic. And it has a little bit of a satiny finish when it dries, which is just gorgeous. You can really mattify it up a lot if you put a matte topper on it, but honestly, I think that the finish on its own is absolutely stunning. This is really close to another SquareHue polish, which is this one right here. This one is called LeBlanc from May of 2014. Now 2014 was the Passport collection. I can't remember exactly what the collection was called from 2014, and I can't actually find what this was called, like what box May of 2014 was called. I can only find references back to August of 2014, so I can't remember which one this one is from. I want to say it was like Brazil or Sao Paulo or something like that, but if you look at them, they're really, really close. I actually don't have a swatch stick of LeBlanc, so we will be swatching that at the end of this video. But you can see that Copas is just a little bit like emerald greenier, and this one's a little bit more Kelly green, but they still have this beautiful like shimmery formula that is absolutely fantastic from SquareHue. Okay, the next one we have is from 2016. This one's from May. This one is labeled as Mallory Square. Now, May of 2016 was Scooter Key West once again, but this one is a really beautiful cotton candy pink with a lovely like iridescent shimmer running through it. Unfortunately, this one was a little bit on the sheer side for me. I was a little disappointed by the formula on this one because you have to build it up so much to get opaque coverage on the nail, but still, it's really quite pretty and I really like it. It goes really, really nicely with the green from the collection in that box, so worth it to me. I adore this yellow from SquareHue. This is from the Decades collection in May. This is called War Hero. May was the 1940s, so this is like obviously going along with World War II, but this mustard yellow is stunning. It looks so good. I think I turned my nose up it ridiculously when it first came out in my review, but over the years, I have come to love this mustard yellow so incredibly much, especially around the fall. This one's amazing. Does dry a little bit darker on the swatch than it does in the bottle, and it has held up pretty well over time as well. Some of these creams I've noticed get a little bit gunky and a little bit gummy, and you have to put thinner in them, but this one in particular has really held up over time. This one is definitely another favorite. This is from the Decades collection once again. October's box was the 1990s. This one is labeled Vogue, and it is a beautiful like brick red shimmer that is absolutely gorgeous. I love this polish. This is one of my favorites for the fall. It's like that deep oxblood red, but then they throw in this magnificent shimmer. It's a super shiny finish, so amazingly gorgeous with a matte topper on it. Oh, I love this one a whole bunch. We are definitely sticking with some blood red here with Campo San Moise, I think. This is December of 2016, so this is the Adventure collection. October was Gondola Venice. Gondola Venice from last year was gorgeous. It was so gorgeous. And this polish can kind of give you a hint of like the feel of that box. It was very dark and very vampy and super, super sexy. Like, oh, it was gorgeous. This is kind of a very, very dark oxblood red. The particular formula on this one is a little bit like a jelly, a little bit like a crelly. So it definitely took a couple of coats to build up, but oh my goodness, this one is so beautiful. I rocked this one so hard last October. It just screams vampires and I love it. All right, so we are finishing up the December box from 2016. This is Jingle Bells. Again, this is the Adventures collection. I believe the theme of this box was ice skating Rockefeller Center. This one is definitely kind of a miss for me. Like I had mentioned before, if I were destashing polishes, this would probably be one that I would destash. It's this kind of antique gold shimmer that I'm just not feeling. I'm not feeling this one. It's a little bit too antiqued for me. It's very, very foily. You got some brush stroke issues. Meh, like a little bit disappointed. Here we have Independence from the Celebrate America box from July of 2016, the Adventures collection. This one is a really beautiful like navy blue, but it's kind of a sheer. It's definitely jelly-like. So I'm not a huge fan of this formula. It takes a lot, you can see right through the swatch stick, like you can tell, like it's just very, very sheer, very jelly-like, which some people adore and some people love. I'm not a fan. I don't like having to do more than one coat to get things opaque. I just don't have time for that business. Luckily for us though, this formula is very fast drying. Like it dries really, really quick. So it's easier to get all those layers in. I just don't want to be bothered with it. Oh, I adored this box. This is Scuba Hawaii from August of 2016, and this is Nani. Nani is definitely worthy of her name. I believe Nani in Hawaiian means beautiful or pretty, and this one totally is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's a really beautiful, summery, bright, happy coral orange with a shimmer running through it. The shimmer definitely is lost when you put it on the nail, but this bright coral orange is phenomenal. I love this color on my toes. This is one of my favorites for the summer for pedicure colors. Gorgeous, gorgeous formula. Loved this one a whole lot, and I'm actually wanting to put this on my toes right now, so maybe after this video. Oh, I love this one so much. Okay, next up we have Temple Bar from March of 2016. That theme was Pub Crawl Dublin, and I really like this one. This one is so incredibly cute. It's kind of a creamsicle orange. It's a beautiful cream, high gloss cream formula, so it's really, really nice. It gets opaque in like 2 coats, and just look at it. It is so stinking cute. It's just gorgeous, and I love talking about it. Oh, beautiful, beautiful polish. Next, we have Sandstone from September of 2016. September was Explore Antelope Canyon, and it was this really beautiful box of like earth tone reds, and I believe there was like a really beautiful purple mixed in there too. This one is really, really interesting. It's a really nice like cherry red base with like lots of like iridescent flecks running through there, and like really, really pretty shimmers that make it absolutely sparkly. It's not the most opaque polish. Like you can see, you can tell, you can see the swatch, you can see the bottle through the swatch stick. You have to build it up a little bit, and you still see a little bit of a nail line. So I actually like to use this as a topper. I like to put like a red underneath it and then put this on top, or better yet, I like to put like a magenta pink and then put this one on top of it to kind of really bring out the red and the pink. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. This one is super cute. This one is called Volta from the Samba collection. So that is from this year. This one is from February, and it's a beautiful orange, like shimmery glitter. It's really, really kind of similar to Sandstone Park, except it's orange instead of red. So just like with Sandstone, it's not that opaque. Like you can tell, I can see right through it, but it's a really nice topper. So if you put it on top of an orange, it works really, really nice. You can definitely see some of those glitter flecks coming through, but on its own, it just doesn't quite do it. You have to do quite a bit of layers to get it fully opaque. This one's definitely more of a topper in my book. So this one is from the October box of 2015. It's called Y2K. 2015 was the Decades collection, so in October we were looking at the 1990s. This one is a gunmetal gray that has a really gorgeous shimmer running through it. Compared to the bright neon orange that I'm wearing, I'm getting some very strong Halloween vibes going on here. But this particular polish isn't necessarily one of my favorites because it's a little bit, I don't know, I'm not a big, huge fan of like charcoal grays. This one though is really nice. The formula was not the greatest. I want to say you had to go anywhere from 2 to 3 coats to get this one opaque. It just wasn't very dark. So this next one is also from the 1990s collection, the 1990s box. This is October of 2015. This one's called Desert Storm. I obviously need to mix it up, so just give me a second. This one is a really nice nude. I'm not a huge fan of nudes, and this one in particular just doesn't quite ring my bell. It is a very brown, sandy tan nude. It doesn't quite work with my skin tone, but with the right skin tone, this would be fantastic polish. Formula's amazing. It's like opaque and almost 1 coat, I want to say. I think I remember this having a really fantastic formula. But it just does not work with my skin tone very well. Those that can wear it are really lucky because it's a fantastic formula. Here's one from the Decades collection. This is April of 2015. April was the 1930s, and this one is labeled Board Game. This is a really like in your face, really, really intense kind of reddish orange cream. It's a fantastic formula. Absolutely like magnificent to work with. I love this color quite a bit. One of my favorites, this is Bridge Inn from March of 2016. Bridge Inn was a part of the Pub Crawl Dublin Adventure Collection. It's a really gorgeous, you can't quite tell on camera, but it's kind of a creamy, it's a cream like crelly base with tons of like iridescent glitter running through it that you can't see in person, but that you can't see on camera, but in person it's really, really something special. It has a little bit of a matte like satin formula when it dries, so you could put a nice glossy topper on it and you can really bring the sparkles out. This one is so cute, and I thought it complemented the orange in that collection so nicely. Like, this is a creamsicle in the making. I absolutely adored this box from March in 2015 or 2016. This one was fantastic. Here we have a polish from this year. This is La Parada from the Tango box. La Parada was definitely a disappointment for me. While it looks amazing in the bottle, it's this really like orange-sickle, orangey cream jelly base with lots and lots of holographic in there. The performance of this one was really bad. It was super, super thick, tremendously gloopy, took forever to dry, and it just didn't hold very well. You had to put several coats to get this one opaque. It was definitely a jelly, but it was a very thick jelly and it just didn't work very well. Really disappointed with the formula on this one. I ended up having to put in lots of thinner into it to kind of at least make it spreadable, and even still, it just wasn't the greatest. Here is another first from SquareHue. This is from November of 2016. This was Museum Hop Paris. This one's called Pompidou, and it is a chocolate brown holographic polish. Like, we have not seen any kind of holographic polishes from SquareHue as of yet. This is definitely the first, at least for me, and the performance is really nice. This is a gorgeous holographic polish. Again, I wish that SquareHue would do more of polishes like this, because this was so cute. I almost am a little bit disappointed that it was a brown holographic polish. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like brown, but I really wish that they had decided to do a holographic polish of a different color, something that was a little bit more universal, whereas I feel like brown is just, it's a difficult color for people to pull off. All right, next we have Martinique from June of 2016. 2016 was the Adventure Collection and June was Sail Windward Islands. And this one is a really beautiful kind of lime green with a gorgeous like yellow gold yellow gold shimmer running through it. When it dries, it's a little bit on the satiny side, but you could definitely put a matte topper on it to really velvetize it and make it look stunning. But you could also put a glossy topper to really bring out the shine and make it shimmer and sparkle. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Next up, we have Ling from the Dance Collection. Ling was from March of this year. This one was a little bit weird. Like, it was weird. I congratulate SquareHue for going out on a limb on this one, but again, it just didn't quite work. This one is kind of a marigold color with a gold foil metallic glitter running through it. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't hate it, but I don't really love it either. The formula's not bad. You had to build it up in like 2 to 3 coats, so it's okay. It's not fantastic. This next one is Southernmost Point. This is from May of 2016. This one's so pretty. I really like this one. It's a really deep magenta, kind of jelly, crelly base with a very striking, very strong purple shimmer running through it. And when it dries, you can actually see the shimmer, which I really appreciate. Normally, I shy away from pinks with a shimmer running through it because you just can't see it, and I feel like it distracts from the pink because I love a good pink polish. But I feel like this one is actually really nice, and I appreciate this one quite a bit. It's a little bit on the sheer side. You definitely have to build it up quite a bit, like 2 to 3 coats to get it opaque, but I really like it. This one was a good box. I really liked the Key West box. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Here's another polish from the Museum Hop Paris box, which was November of 2016. This is Louvre, the Louvre, or however you say it. I'm gonna shake it up just a wee bit. It's a classic, like, bluish, darkened gray cream. Very pretty, and it dries very matte, which I really appreciate. I'm not normally a gray type of gal, but this one is quite stunning and really beautiful. The formula on it is fantastic. Goes on super nice, opaque in like 2 coats, and it dries matte, so what more can you ask for? Here's a real eye catcher. This is St. Vincent from June of 2016. June was Sail Windward Islands. This is a really intense kind of pumpkin orange with a gorgeous gold shimmer running through it. I really like this one. I think this one is so stunning. It's so beautiful, but it is quite close to something we've already received from SquareHue. This is Rambla de Rival from 2014. And you can tell like they're really close. Again, we're kind of getting we're getting into a little bit of dupes here with SquareHue, but they're still really different. Like this one is a yellower orange and this one's more of a red red orange, but we still have an orange with a gold shimmer running through it, but both of them are fantastic. I definitely have a swatch stick for St. Vincent Rambla de Rival. This is a very, very old polish for me. This is from July of 2014. Gorgeous. Love this one so much. I love to use this one quite a bit around Halloween because it looks real nice with a black polish, especially a black matte. Oh, stunning. Here we have another one from Celebrate America. This is July of 2016. This one's just called Stars. And it's a really kind of nice off-white cream with a iridescent shimmer running through it. Unfortunately, when you apply it to the nail, that shimmer is non-existent, but I really do love this kind of off-white cream. It's so interesting. It looks really, really nice as well, but it's different. It's not a pure white. Eye polish from August of 2015 is a pure white, and you can tell like Stars is like almost like a tea stained or a dusty white, which I really, really like. Eye polish is a fantastic one coater white. This is phenomenal. This cream white is perfect for stamping. It's like I said, it's done in one coat, which is phenomenal. This is such an amazing polish. Here we have one from February of 2016. February of 2016 was Bike Amsterdam, and this one is called the Newmarkt. Really, really gorgeous. This is a really kind of muted red, like a crimson red with a little bit of a silver shimmer. Like it is very, very subtle. It's almost non-existent when you put it on the nail, but it does kind of mute the redness, like the intensity of the red, which I really, really like. It's still red, mind you, but it's like grayed out, which I love. So now we're getting into one of the, possibly the most unpopular boxes from the SquareHue collection, at least as far as I've been with SquareHue, and that would be November of 2015. Now, as we recall, 2015 was the Decades collection, and for November, we were dealing with the early 2000s. And in this particular box, it was 3 gray polishes. That's all we got. And it was a little bit disappointing. Even though they were different formulas, they were still gray silver polishes, and it was just a little bit disappointing. This one in particular is called Hurricane, and it's a gray polish. There's nothing really more to say about it other than it's like a metallic-y gray polish. A little bit of like a steel gray going on here, a little bit of a blue gray, like concrete gray. It's gray, and it's definitely shimmery. It's really pretty, like it's a really nice formula, and it dries, it has a nice finish when it dries on its own. If I were to de-stash polishes, I would probably get rid of the entire November box. I just thought it was a swing and a miss for SquareHue, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on that one. From grays to gorgeous pinks, this is Marchesi from Samba. This is, I think this was February of this year. I really do like this one. It's a really cute bubblegum pink with a gold shimmer running through it, and it's just so cute. It is so incredibly cute. You actually do see quite a bit of the shimmer when it's applied to the nail. It is a little bit on the watery side. I had to go anywhere from 2 to 3 coats, most likely 3 because of my longer nails at the time. Definitely had to do 3 coats because I had a pretty like large amount of free nail that had to be covered up, but it's such a cute polish. I thought it was so bright and so pink and so happy. I loved wearing this one in the early spring. It was absolutely fantastic. This is another one of my favorites from the SquareHue collection. This is Deep Space from September of 2015. We are looking at the Decades collection, so this is the 1980s. It's like a Coca-Cola brown that is absolutely hypnotic. Like it's almost difficult to get the true effect of it on camera, but it's this gorgeous dark brown with a really nice rusted red shimmer running through it. Coppery shimmer, gold shimmer, whatever you want to call it. It's amazing. My swatch of this one broke, but it doesn't at all discourage the color. It is so deep and so striking. I love this one in the fall. Love it. This one is probably one of my favorite grays from SquareHue. This is from the September collection of 2015, which is the Decades collection. We are looking at the 80s once again. This one is labeled Vice, and it is a really beautiful kind of mid-toned gray that I really, really love. It is so cute, and it's just really light. I love this one with a matte topper on it because it really just makes it look like porcelain, but like gray porcelain. It's so pretty. I really, really like this one. It doesn't work so well with my skin tone right now because I've got a little bit of a tan, but in the winter months when I'm a little bit more fair-skinned, this one looks so nice. I love this one a lot. This is another polish from the 2000 box from 2015. Again, it's that November box that nobody was really a fan of. This one is called Never Forget, commemorating September 11th, and it is a silver foil. The formula on this one is okay. You can tell from the swatch stick that it's a little bit brush strokey, so it's not necessarily my favorite. This one surprised me. I was so surprised by this one. This is Slot Canyon from September of 2016. September of 2016 was Explore Antelope Canyon. I thought I was not going to like this one bit because it's a brown. It is a brown that I'm just like indifferent. I'm not a huge fan of browns, but this one is magnificent. I adored this. This became my favorite out of that entire box from September, which was such a shock to me because it's brown, but it's like this chocolatey, caramely brown that has a magnificently yummy formula. It just glides on the nail. So incredibly smooth. The reason I was so surprised by it was because it looked so nice with my skin tone. I was so impressed with this polish. Really, really, really impressed with it. I'm really, really surprised by it, and I'm actually kind of happy I have it in my collection. Of my own free will, I would have never in a million years bought a color like this. So this is why I love SquareHue, because in instances like this, I would never buy a color. But because of SquareHue, I now have it in my collection, and I love it. It is such a great color. All right, so this one has started to separate over time, but that doesn't mean it's not a bad polish. This is Lodgepole Pine from January of 2016. January 2016 was Hike Banff, and this is a gorgeous, beautiful pine green cream. And the formula on this one is phenomenal. It has started to separate a little bit on me, but nothing the good shake won't work out. The swatch is true to color. This is what you would get when you paint it on your nails. Beautiful, beautiful pine green cream. I really liked this one. I was surprised at how much I liked it. I didn't think I would like really vibe with it very much, but it's gorgeous. This one has started to separate a little bit, but it does not change one bit how I feel about it. This is WPA from April of 2015. If you look at the swatch, it's kind of a darkened turquoise, like a dusty turquoise. This one is gorgeous, and even though it is separating quite a bit, it still performs just as nicely as you see on the swatch stick. It looks fantastic. This is a really nice cream, opaque in 2 coats. It's one of my, I think this box was another one of my favorites from the Decades collection. We had Board Game, which we had already discussed before, and then we had a very, very deep purple in that box as well. Oh, I love the color palette of this one. So incredibly gorgeous. Since we were talking about that 1930s box, I thought we would finish up the box by talking about Tomorrowland from the 1930s box. Such a beautiful purple cream. Here is the swatch of Tomorrowland, which is kind of like this mauvey eggplanty purple. So pretty, so pretty. And like I mentioned before, it goes so nicely with the rest of that box. This is May of 2015, so now we're moving into the 1940s. This is Mambo, and I really like this one too. I want to call this one like a terracotta red. It definitely looks different than, what was that one? Slot Canyon. Slot Canyon was more brown, and Mambo definitely has more red in it. I love this one. This one, again, is so incredibly different for me. I'm not necessarily one to pick this color up on my own, but I'm so glad that SquareHue sent this one in one of their boxes because it is so stinking pretty. I had no idea that reddish browns could be so stunning and look so nice on the nails. This one is so pretty. Love it. Okay, this one's been staring at me. It's been like just sitting here all like separated and gross. So let's shake this one up. This one is called Water District from last year's collection. This was February, which was Bike Amsterdam, and it's a really, really dusty sky blue cream. It's not necessarily anything to write home about. I don't think it's necessarily unique, nor is it different from anything we've seen before, but it is a really nice formula. Yeah, it's kind of close to St. John. It's actually really, really close to St. John. This is from March of last year. Except it's a little bit more green and a little bit darker, but it's still like kind of the sky blue color that, again, I feel like isn't necessarily super, super unique. Since we had pulled out St. John, we're going to talk about St. John. This is from March of 2016, which was Pub Crawl Dublin, and it's a sky blue. I mean, it's very, 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 very average. We all have a bunch of sky blues. It's not anything super unique. I will say that it is really close to Bel Air. This is from June of 2015, which was the Decades collection. I mean, we've got some pretty similar sky blues here. It's actually quite difficult to see a difference between the two of these. I think in person you can tell that St. John is a little bit greener, perhaps, and Bel Air is slightly more pastel. Pretty sure I have a match here, but I am going to paint Bel Air on top of this just to make sure, because you never can be too careful. So I'm gonna put these off to the side and we will swatch these at the end of the video. All right, we are in store for another shimmery pink. This one is Eiger from April of 2016. April was Skydive Interlockin'. Here we have kind of a bubblegum pink with a little bit of a shimmer running through it. Now, truth time here, I probably would get rid of this one if I had it in my collection or if I was actually destashing, because I'm not quite a fan of this really subtle shimmer in a pink. It just doesn't really vibe for me very well. I get very, like somebody mentioned in one of my past destash videos that like these shimmery polishes remind them of 80s prom, and that's exactly what this reminds me of, is like an 80s prom dress. So I'm not a huge fan of it. The formula's okay. It's a little bit on the sheer side and you have to build it up a little bit, but I'm just not a huge fan of this color combo of a bubblegum pink with a shimmer. All right, the camera better prepare itself for this one. We have a neon. This is called Tune In from July of 2015. July, we were dealing with the 1960s box, so of course we have a very psychedelic, in-your-face purple that dries down very, very matte and really, really dark. I almost kind of wish it kind of stayed this color that you see in the bottle, but honestly, I don't mind the matte finish. However, it is very, very like thin. I remember having to do several coats to get this opaque, and so it's not quite worth it to me. I have other neons that are very, very similar to this in color that perform a whole lot better. This one is gorgeous. This one is Ikaika, I can't remember how you say this, from August of 2016, which was the adventure collection. So this adventure was Scuba Hawaii, and it's a gorgeous muted lilac color, which is so gorgeous. It's a fantastic cream, opaque in 2 coats. Loved the formula on this one. This was a good one. I really enjoyed it. Corkscrew Canyon from September of 2016. This one is more of a denim purple, so it's a blurple in my opinion. And this one is really, really nice. This one came with the Slot Canyon box, and if you like pair it with Slot Canyon, it looks really, really good. Like, I like both of these together so well, and they looked fantastic in the box for September of 2016. Here's Corkscrew Canyon on the swatch stick, and it does dry a little bit darker than what you see in the bottle, but it's still this really vibrant, like blurple, like darkened blurple that is so beautiful, and the formula on this was so good. Like, it's the stuff dreams are made of on this one. This one is from one of the collections from this year. This is Jarabe Tapatio, which was last month's box, I believe. I loved the Jarabe Tapatio box from this year. It was so perfect. This one is a really fun lavender purple with a like kind of iridescent glassy shimmer running through it. I loved this box, and I believe this box may still be for sale on the SquareHue website, but don't quote me on it. It might have been sold out by now, but they did have extra boxes of this available for sale. This one was gorgeous. Next up is Monch from April of 2016. April was Skydive Interlockin', and we have a very vibrant kind of sunflower yellow that dries matte. I was so excited about this polish because it was a matte formula. We don't get very many mattes from SquareHue. My only like downside with this is that the formula is a little bit on the thick side. Mine ended up getting very gloopy over time, and I had to add some thinner to it to just kind of make it usable. But once adding thinner to it, it works just fine. Now, compared to War Hero, which is one of my favorite mustard yellows from 2015, you can tell it's very, very vibrant. It's more punchy, it's in your face. It's almost like primary color yellow with a matte formula, which is awesome. Since we have Monch right here with us, we are going to compare it to St. Lucia. St. Lucia? St. Lucia, I don't know how to say it. This is June of 2016. June of 2016 was Sail Windward Islands, and this is where we're starting to get a little bit more into a mustard yellow. If we compare it to War Hero, you can tell that War Hero is like almost dusty, which is so interesting to see all these variants of yellow right next to each other. With St. Lucia, this one also got a little bit gunky over time. And this one is only a couple months old. Well, it's almost a year old now. I had to definitely put some thinner in this one because it got very stringy, it got very gloopy. And you can kind of still see right now, it's still a little bit on the stringy side. So the formula wasn't the best on this one, but it definitely wasn't terrible. And honestly, for yellows, you have to give credit where credit is due. Yellow is a very difficult color to master in the nail polish world. It's just a really hard pigment to work with. And so obviously SquareHue did the best that they could. And honestly, I think they did a great job. I mean, yeah, you have to put in some thinner every now and then, but I'd rather have a thick, gloopy yellow than like a chalky, milky, watery yellow. Like, no thank you. At least with a gloopy, thick yellow, you can do something about it to make it work, to make it workable. This one will be swatched at the end of the video. I'm feeling yellow right now, so we're just gonna do the rest of the yellows from SquareHue. This is Ipanema from May of 2014. It's very gold, it's very shimmery. The shimmer does kind of disappear when you put it on the nail. With it being a yellow and kind of a sheerer polish, you do have to build it up a little bit, but I kind of like it. I like the shimmer, I like the little like sparkle that you see in there. It definitely comes out more if you put a high gloss top coat on it. It's pretty cute. I really, really like it. This is Placa Catalunya. Gorgeous, gorgeous magenta shimmer. This one is so good. Very deep magenta with a shimmer. This one is gorgeous. It's one of my favorites to wear in the summertime on my toes. It's just absolutely stunning. This one is Johnston Canyon from January of 2016, which was Hike Banff, and it's a cream. It is a very, very beigey yellow cream, kind of a nude that would work for my skin tone because it's a very yellowy kind of creamy nude that would really, really work nicely for me. The formula on this one's not bad. I remember being pleasantly surprised with it being opaque in 2 coats. I thought it was gonna be super watery and nasty, but it's not. It's actually quite nice. This one is from 2014. I probably do not have a swatch of this one. This is definitely an old one for me. This is 2014. This is Pariska, I don't know. 2014 was the Passport collection, and the November box was Prague. It's a gray crully with a silver glitter running through it. Again, not necessarily one of my favorites. I don't think I've ever worn this one, and I've had it since 2014, but of course I'm not going to be getting rid of it because it's part of my SquareHue collection. This one is another one from 2014, and I know I don't have a swatch of this one. This one is called Sampokus. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that wrong, and I'm apologizing profusely if that is incorrect because I know it is. This is December of 2014, which was Rovaniemi, and this one is actually quite pretty. I have used this one several times. It has started to separate on me, but I do whip this one out at least once around Christmas time. Really gorgeous. I love it. It's kind of like a white gold glitter polish. It's a little bit on the creamy side, and there's a little bit of a foil going on in there, but you build it up and it looks like white gold. It's so incredibly gorgeous. I will definitely be swatching this one at the end of the video because I do not have any swatch sticks of this because it is so incredibly old. All right, here we have one from this month's box. This is Odani from the Calbelia box, which is this month's box. So I'm gonna label this one real quick. So Odani is a cornflower blue that is a crelly polish. I already posted my review of this particular box, so if you want to see my thoughts in detail, I will link it down below. But in summary, not a huge fan of this one. I don't really like jellies. I don't like crellies. This one isn't particularly bad, but yet I don't really feel like the jelly effect is with this one when it dries. Like, it's not squishy because it's not that shiny. I feel like if it was like a high gloss, then you could definitely feel that squishiness factor, but it just doesn't work with this. I like the color, I think it's beautiful, but I just really don't like the formula. I kind of wish they had just gone with a cream instead of a sheer on this one, but what are you gonna do? This one is Lake Louise from January of 2016, which was Hike Banff, and it's a really pretty sky blue, but it's got like this pearlescent kind of frosty finish on there that I'm really not digging. If I were destashing, I'd probably get rid of this one, but of course I'm gonna hold on to it because we all know why. Yeah, I'm just not feeling it. This one is January of 2015. I actually have 2 bottles of this particular polish because this was the Decades collection, this was the 1900s collection, and I got a broken bottle. in my first box from 2015, and so they sent me another one, which was awesome. It was really, really nice. So I actually have 2 first flights. This is probably the only time I will actually destash a SquareHue because I have 2 of them. I do not need both, I only need one, so I will actually destash one of these. I don't have a swatch stick of this one because it is so old, so I will be swatching one of these at the end of the video. This is Pirouette from this year's ballet collection. Definitely gorgeous. This one is such an interesting kind of green gray polish. Like, you can't tell, is it green, is it gray? It's got a little bit of a shimmer running through it. I kind of like it. This one came out in May of this year, and I was already kind of done with pastels. I kind of wish this one came out in April because then I would have rocked this one hard, but it just was wrong timing for me. Let's do this glitter. This is a fun glitter. This is Night Fever from August of 2015. We're dealing with the 1970s box. It's very glitzy. It's just a classic silver, very glitzy, very glammy, holographic glitter. Fun. I just wish we would see more of these holographic glitters from SquareHue. Come on, get it together, guys. This is the other glitter that I didn't realize I had until I started looking through these piles more. This one I don't think I have a swatch stick for because it's from 2014, which I know from this point now, we know that I was not swatching on sticks. This is Copacabana from May of 2015. It's a really beautiful blue jelly with tons of holographic glitter. Very reminiscent of fireworks. So we've got like the same kind of vibe going on here, except we've got blue versus red. Really nice. Again, I wish SquareHue did more of these like glittery polishes. I miss them. I wish I had a swatch of this one, but I do not. I don't have a recent swatch of it, I should say. So this one will be swatched at the end of the video. This is awesome. I love this one. This one is Vondel Park from February of 2016, which was the Adventure Collection Bike Amsterdam, and it's a very deep blackened plum purple, and the formula is so good. It's opaque in 2 coats. It's phenomenal. Even though it's got a little bit of a schmutz thing happening here on the swatch stick, it is still a gorgeous color. Next, we're going to do Santa Maria del Giglio from December of 2016. This was the Gondola Venice box from the Adventure Collection that I absolutely adored. This one is such an interesting kind of mauvey gray purple that I didn't know I realized I needed until I had it from SquareHue. Gorgeous cream formula. Really nice. Super duper fantastic application. And again, it's a color I would have never purchased on my own because I have no attraction to this kind of purpley gray color. It's just not my thing, but I love this one. This one is so nice in the fall. It's very vampy, very saucy and sexy for the fall. I love it. Next is Canal Grande, which finishes off the October box for 2016. This one is interesting. This one, again, I wasn't quite like super thrilled about it when I opened it because it's just, it didn't really strike me as like awesome. It's a darkened turquoise teal with a little bit of a silver glitter running through it that you can barely make out. You really can't see that closely on the nail, but I just like the overall color of this polish. It is so deep and it's a yummy teal to wear in the fall time. The formula on this one's super nice. I really like the application of it, and it worked really nicely with the rest of the box from this collection too. It was just, it's so good. It is so incredibly good. So this was the box, and it's gorgeous. Like this color scheme is so vampy and so like just perfect for the fall. I loved this box so much from last year. Oh, it was such a surprise, and it was a winner all across the board. Home runs all around. It was so good. So very good. Okay, here we have Sierra Sunset from September of 2015. This is the 1980s box from the Decades Collection. So pretty. This one's so pretty. It's like a darkened kind, I don't even know how to describe this one. It's like a terracotta red, but like a shimmery. So I don't know how to describe this one. It's almost metallic. It's very like rose coppery bronze, but it's red. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love this one a whole lot. I didn't wear it that much last year, but I'm definitely looking forward to it this year. Just looking at it again makes me so excited, and the formula is really nice. This is from the Decades Collection, the 1920s box. This is a very nice silver foil, that I want to say was a little on the sheer side. Like it was definitely a topper. I never really wore it that much because it's definitely just more of a topper, and I'm not a huge fan of, like, I just don't really tend towards toppers that often, and I don't think I've ever used it once. So this one is definitely not a favorite of mine, but of course I will be keeping it, and I will be swatching it at the end of the video as well. Let's look at Baby, Baby, Baby from 2015. Really gorgeous, gorgeous, deep, like royal plum purple with a shimmer running through it. It reminds me a lot of Sorcerer's Hat. Sorcerer's Hat is one of my favorite SquareHue polishes. This is probably like my top 3 favorites from SquareHue, and so it's kind of along the same veins of it being this really velvety, very shimmery, satiny looking jewel tone purple. I don't think I have a swatch stick of this one. I've been looking for it and I don't think I have it. I think I'm definitely going to be swatching this one at the end of the video. Since we were talking about Sorcerer's Hat, let's go ahead and dive deep into this one. This one is from May of 2015, one of my all-time favorites, like I mentioned before. My favorite way of wearing this polish is by putting a matte topper on it. It's velvet-like. It is so gorgeous. It just, oh, it's just amazing. And oddly enough, as I was looking for Baby Baby, I don't have a swatch stick of this one, which is ridiculous because it's one of my favorites. I don't have a swatch stick of it. So maybe I wasn't swatching in 2015, or at least putting them on swatch sticks. I might have still been using wheels. I have no idea, but I will swatch this one for you at the end of the video and you will see how amazing it is. This one is Via Montonapoli from October of 2014. It's a black matte, and this one is absolutely stunning. Like, it's just a classic black matte polish. It's a really good formula too. It's about opaque in 2 coats. I'm pretty sure this is the same polish. I might test it out just to be sure, but I'm almost guaranteeing that this one does dry to a matte finish, but I will test it just to be sure. This one I know I don't have a swatch stick for. This is Rivontuli from December of 2014. This is the Passport Collection, a pine green cream with a very slight Kelly green shimmer running through it. It's so different and so unique. I don't remember how this one performs whatsoever because I don't think I've worn it since 2014, like since I opened it, and I don't really know how this one performs, so we will swatch that one. Here we have Na Prokopi from November of 2014. This one was kind of a faux pas for SquareHue because they did the exact same color for War Crinoline in February of 2015. So we have the Decades Collection in 2015 and the Passport Collection in 2014, and these colors are identical. Absolutely identical. We have kind of this camouflage olive green cream polishes. They're, I mean, average formulas, opaque in 2 coats, but they are exact dupes of one another. So this one obviously came out first, and then the Decades Collection came out, and so SquareHue did something really awesome. They actually refunded everyone who got the November box of 2014 and the February box of 2015. Even though these are exact duplicates, I will be keeping both of them for collection purposes. Like, I already have the November 2014 box. If I get rid of it, then I don't have the full box, and same thing with the Decades Collection. Like, if I get rid of this one, then I don't have the full collection. So even though they're exactly the same, I'm definitely gonna be keeping them. However, I do not think I have a swatch of either of these, so I will be swatching one of them, if not both of them. Probably just one, because I don't really need swatches of both of them, but I will be keeping both. This one is Akamai, which is from August of 2016, which was Scuba Dive Hawaii. Gorgeous shimmer. This is along the same veins of Sorcerer's Hat and Baby Baby Baby, these deep jewel tones that have fantastic shimmer. These look so good with a matte topper on them. This one is gorgeous. Nice deep teal color that is just astounding. Makes me so very happy. This one is extremely close to Fra from the con box of this year. Akamai is a little bit more teal and Fra is a little bit more green, but it's still a green with a very strong shimmer running through it. Fra is a very nice one. I'm gonna label it real quick before I forget. Definitely more green than Akamai. Akamai was teal, this is more green. They still work for me and I love them. They have fantastic formulas. They are absolutely stunning. This one is Golpe from the Tango Collection. That was January. It's kind of like this steely blue silvery foil color that is really quite interesting. I don't think I would necessarily like choose to wear this one on my own. It just, I don't know, something about this color just kind of weirds me out a little bit. I think it's just because it's a blue, silvery, green, gray. Like you can't quite figure out, is it blue, is it green, is it gray, what's going on? It's nice, but I'm just not like in love with it as much as I am with other colors from SquareHue. This little doozy, I don't think, this one's interesting. So this is Watergate from August of 2015, the Decades collection. I was really disappointed by this one because the formula was not that great. It was very, very watery, very, very sheer. Again, if I were destashing SquareHues, I would get rid of this one, but I'm keeping it because I like to have complete sets. This one works on top of blue polishes. I like it on top of a purple polish as well. It looked really, really nice, but I'm just not one to like reach for toppers. It's just something I don't really do that often. This one is Angraki from the SquareHue Collection. This one is from this month's box, and I do have a swatch stick for this one because I just reviewed this one not that long ago. Beautiful, beautiful Barbie pink. I love this polish. This one was definitely my favorite out of this month's box. It was so good. Opaque in one coat. So happy with it. Gorgeous, gorgeous pink cream. Fantastic. Love it. 2 thumbs way up. Everybody's a winner with this one. The other color from that collection was this one, which is Lenga. This one was a surprise to me. I wasn't necessarily going to be super pumped about it, but it kind of works. I don't think I'd wear it anytime soon. I would save this one for the fall, but I really, really like it. Really, really creamy, nice like brown kind of gray with a silver shimmer that looks so good with a matte topper on it. I put a matte topper on in my review and it looks stunning. I think I have 2 of these ones. This one is called Victorian End. This was the January box of 2015, the Decades collection. This bottle actually was busted. It was leaking and it leaked all over everything. So they sent me a new box, which was really, really nice. Now this one is slightly broken. You can tell like the lip right here is a little bit broken, but it still works. It still works. They're both the same color, so I don't need both. I will be keeping one of them, and unfortunately, I'm gonna be keeping the one that's not broken, but I will be selling this one along with the rest of this collection because I don't need the whole box. So this one will be going the destash. I do not have a swatch stick of Victorian End, so I will be swatching that one at the end of this video as well. So Gibson Girl was the 3rd color that went with the rest of that box. This is from the Decades collection, January 2015. This one was another one, so it was kind of a funny story. So when I opened up my first box, Gibson Girl was the one that had spilled, and this one, actually, I don't think this one had any, no, this one also had a broken bottle too. You can see the lip is broken on the top there, but it still works. Like you just have to screw on the lid tight enough, and that's what had happened was the lid wasn't screwed on tight enough and it spilled everywhere in shipping. And so when they sent me a second box, Victorian End was the one that was broken. So with the 2 boxes combined, I got a full set for January. But I do have 2 of Gibson Girl. I don't need both of them. It's a really dusty bubblegum pink. So I will be destashing the broken bottle. Also, Gibson Girl has not been swatched, so I will be swatching that at the end of the video. This one, I'm not even gonna attempt to say it. This one is December of 2014. This is Passport Collection Rovaniemi or something like that. I do not have a swatch stick for this one because it is so old, so this one will be swatched at the end of the video, along with this one from the Prague collection from the same year. This is this name right here. I'm not even gonna attempt to say it. November of 2014. It looks interesting. I don't think I've ever worn this since 2014 when I first opened it and tried it out, but I'm intrigued. It's kind of like a purpley, darkened purple with a silver shimmer running through it. I'm tempted by that one, but I'm definitely gonna be swatching that one at the end. Here we have, from this year, Jarabe Tapatio. This is Charro, and this is one of my favorites. I loved this. I loved Jarabe Tapatio so much. And this like lime green cream is stunning. It is so cute. It is such a good cream formula too. This is definitely going to be on my hands quite a bit this summer because it's so bright and happy and cheerful. I love it. Here we have Media Luna from the Tango collection of this year. It's a really deep navy with a shimmer running through it. So pretty, so very pretty. It looks really, really nice with a matte topper on it. I'm currently trying to find the swatch stick for it because I know I have one. I can't seem to find my swatch stick of this one. I know I have one though because I reviewed this polish this year and I was doing swatch sticks for it. So I will hold on this one and keep looking for the swatch stick because I know I have it. I know I have it around here somewhere. Here we have Oxford Street from 2014. I do not have a swatch stick for this one. This one is kind of an antique-y, yellowy shimmer. It looks a little bit like the Jingle Bell one, but it's more golden and orange. And actually, I don't mind this one. This one I would wear. This one, not so much. I don't have a swatch stick of this one, so that one will be swatched. This one, I know I don't have a swatch stick for. This is from the Decades collection. This is Art Deco from March of 2015, so we're looking at the 1920s. The 1920s box from 2015 was not one of my favorites because it was basically all toppers. None of them could really be worn on their own. They all had to be put on something else, which I was not a fan of. This one, while amazing looking in the bottle, it is extremely sheer. I was really not a fan of it. It looks gorgeous, but it just is not practical for the type of manicures that I like to do. Along with the rest of the 1920s box was Cocktails and Cigarettes, which again is another topper. It's a pearlized topper, like kind of pearlescent, opalescent kind of topper that just really didn't work for me. And the rest of the box was finished off with Style and Speed, which was another topper that we've already talked about. I do not have swatches of any of these, so these ones will be swatched later. This one is King Street from 2014, the Passport collection, I believe. This is so pretty. It's a nice deep terracotta red, and if you compare it to Mambo, it's like deeper, but it's not as dark as some of the other brick reds we've gotten, like Campo de San Jose, which is like a really, really deep oxblood. So it's different. It's very, very different, and I love it. Don't have a swatch stick for it though, so that one will be swatched. Here's Crown Drive from the same collection. This was the Sydney collection in 2014, which was the whole year was the Passport collection. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Another one of these fantastic, like foily, shimmery velvet colors that looks so good with a matte topper on it. But in this color, we're dealing with kind of a burnt orange gold. Such an extreme, beautiful color that looks so good in November for like Thanksgiving manicures or fall time manicures. I have used this one quite a bit around Thanksgiving. It's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I do not have a swatch stick for it, so that one will be swatched. This one is probably from one of my favorite boxes of 2015. This one was the 50s box from the Decades collection. It was this one, Bel Air, and Sock Hop. These colors were so happy. Like they're candy and the 1950s all wrapped in one. I loved this collection so incredibly much. This was such a cute collection. I did have Bel Air labeled. Don't think I have either one of these. So both of these will be swatched at the end of the video. Zoya, turn on. No, that's not Zoya. This one has been labeled incorrectly. So I do have turn on. It's been labeled as Zoya, but it's definitely SquareHue. It is a neon, so my camera is not going to be happy with this color. It is from the 1970s or the 1960s box from the Decades collection. So again, we're dealing with very psychedelic, very, very trippy colors. And it is a like highlighter yellow. The other color that came with that box, we had Drop Out, we had Turn On, and we had Tune In. All of these are very psychedelic in nature because we are dealing with the 60s, so it totally works. Drop Out is a topper. It wasn't quite strong enough to work on its own. I definitely had to put this one on top of other colors, which for me was not necessarily ideal, but it is, you know, a part of the collection, so I will be keeping it. As far as I know, I do not have a swatch stick. I'm going to keep searching for this one because I know I must have it somewhere. This one is one that I don't have a swatch stick of. This is Via Sant'Andrea from October of 2014. That was Milan. I don't have a swatch stick of this one. It is a very pretty kind of sandy taupey brown. Love it, absolutely adore it. It's so pretty and it's really, really flattering on fairer skin tones. So this one is gorgeous. I'm sure the formula is absolutely fantastic too because it is a cream, but we will know for sure when I swatch it. Here we have Canyon Drive from August of 2014. This again is the Passport collection. This is Beverly Hills. It's a nice like antique lavender, Elizabethan lilac, whatever you want to call it, with a lovely shimmer running through it. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it is a really nice formula. So I don't have a swatch of this one, so I will be swatching this one along with the rest of that box. So we have Canyon Drive, Wilshire Boulevard, and Rodeo Drive. Kind of very glitzy, glammy, very, very Beverly Hills, very, very, you know, posh looking. We have a nice like kind of silvery foil color. We have this really beautiful shimmery navy. Media Luna is darker. It's almost like sapphire, and this one's a little bit lighter. So they're very, very different, a little bit subtle. I mean, they're kind of similar, but we'll see when we actually get them on swatches. They might be completely different or they might be exact duplicates. From 2015 is a classic cherry red. Gorgeous, gorgeous red cream. I don't have a swatch of this one. I might just put the red on top of it and see what happens. I mean, it might be close enough. We'll try it. We'll try it out. Here we have Via della Spiga from October of 2014. That is the Passport collection. October was Milan, a deeper red this time. So we have cardinal red versus like a hollyberry red. Gorgeous reds, both have really nice formulas, really work nicely on my nails. I like them both. I don't have a swatch of this one because it is extremely old, so I will be swatching that one. Here we have Nong from the Con collection, or the Con box, which is from the Dance collection. And I know I have a swatch stick of this one. It's this one, I believe. Yes, kind of a nice reddish orange red. I really, really like this one. Worked so nicely on my hands. These are the final SquareHue polishes that I have, along with the swatch sticks that I have found to go along with them. In my findings, I found that I do have a swatch stick for Sorcerer's Hat, which is awesome. That's one less polish I have to do. First one that I know I definitely have a swatch stick for is Arabesque. This is from the Ballet collection of this year. Beautiful, dusty ballet slipper pink. Formula is not bad on this one. It's anywhere from 2 to 3 coats to get it opaque. I really liked it. I just felt like the timing for this one was a little bit off because I was done with pastels, but it's still really, really cute. This is Olympiad from December of 2015. This is the Decades collection, and I have it right here. I'm not sure where this comes from. I'm not sure why I had it swatched, but it is a like champagne-y gold foil. This one is Cupies from February of 2015, which is the very beginning of the Decades collection, and before I had it matched up with Arabesque, and they are very, very, very close, my friends. Very, very close. Arabesque may appear to be just a tad bit whiter, but on camera, they look identical. The only saving grace is that Arabesque has a better formula than Cupies. Cupies was very, very watery when I first got it. I'm not sure how it holds up now. It might be better now that it's been a little bit older, but when I first received it, it was extremely watery. So we are going to swatch this one because I do not have a swatch stick for it. Here is another one that I have a swatch stick for. This is from the Jarabe Tapatio collection. This is La China. This is another favorite from that box. I just love that entire box. It was so amazing. And this one is no exception because we have a deep crimson red with a fantastic purple glittery shimmer running through it. When it's applied to the nail, you actually can't see it very well. If you put a glossy topper on it, it comes out a little bit more, but on its own, it's not strong enough. However, the color is amazing. It's so gorgeous. Very, very opaque and nice, gorgeous 2-coater red that has a little flashes of purple that is just so pretty. This one is Tunic from 2015, or from February of 2015, the Decades collection. This one has separated over time, but it is a very beautiful peachy, pinky nude, but just like Cupies, it was very, very watery, and so I'm not quite sure how this has held up over time. It looks like it is still quite watery, but we will swatch it and see how this one goes. And the last SquareHue polish is Passage de Gracia, which is July of 2014. 2014 was the Passport collection. It is a very beautiful, deep purpley, plum, royal purple shimmer that is very, very different from Baby Baby Baby, which is kind of a blurply shimmer. And it's also extremely different from Victorian End. Victorian End is kind of a muted lilac. This is definitely a deep plum purple. This is like my kind of purple in the fall. I love this. I have worn this several times in the fall already. It is one of my favorites. Absolutely adore it. Looks fantastic with the matte topper, and the formula is actually pretty good. Those are all the SquareHues in my collection, quite a bit. This has been a very long video, so I think I might actually cut this into 2 pieces because I have tons of polishes to swatch and I don't want this video to get extremely long. So we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna end the video right here, but then we will carry on in part 2, which will be the swatching of all of these SquareHues that I have yet to swatch, because this, let me just show you how many I need to swatch. These are all the SquareHues that I need to swatch, and that's gonna take forever. So we will end this video right here, but we will carry on with a part 2 of my SquareHue collection where I will be swatching all of these polishes right here. So stay tuned, because that video should be out within the next like day or so from this video. So I will see you guys in that swatching video. Bye.